welcome Solex Nation. It is officially September, which means it's DOD month.
Yes, we're so excited.
Can't wait.
We're coming up on it. We're coming out real fast. What does that mean? That means we won't be having a call next week.
We won't have a call September 11th because we are setting up for Dave Discovery. And so just if you aren't coming to Dave Discovery, just hang tight. We'll be back the week after.
Yeah, so go back. We have a lot of calls that you can go back and visit. If you're new here, there's a lot of work to go through as far as catching up on education and things like that. But yeah, we'll miss you next week. We'll love to see everybody that's coming to the event. It's going to be a good one.
It is. And now that it is September, our monthly incentive has changed.
Yeah, so if you enroll a new person with a bundle and a subscription, that new person will automatically get Solex's Power Patches. What are Power Patches? There's 6 side-bin discs. They're silicone side-bin discs.
Very thin, very flexible.
Yeah, you can place them in a lot of places. A lot of people put them on their shoes. They put them in other places.
In between their phone and their phone case.
Yes.
Helps with EMF.
That's right. Helps with EMF, but it also, what does side-bin do?
Side-bin does a lot.
It carries negative ions. You can recharge them in the daylight, 2 hours every couple of weeks. Put them out in the daylight, and not behind the window. Outside
even if it's cloudy, just outside during the daylight hours.
It'll recharge that side bin and that will activate the negative ions. What do negative ions do? Well, there's way too much to talk about that in one call. But negative ions, you'll feel better. Let me just tell you that. You'll feel better if you use it. Those that know negative ion products, understand them. If you haven't experienced them, for new people, this is a great chance for them to get in to experience what they can do for them.
If you want to know more about our Power Patches, check it out on our Solex Global website under the blog. But that is the incentive for September for all new people that sign up with a subscription and a bundle.
Yeah.
And this is also the last month of our Q3 incentives.
Right. So each quarter we have a set of incentives. If you enroll 3 people and those 3 people enroll with a bundle and a subscription, and that subscription successfully processes, right? So we have to wait for that successful processing of the subscription. You will get an additional $100 bonus.
Yeah, and that's for July, August, and September. So if you did the 3 in this 3-month period, that is the incentive. What happens if they sign up 6 in that period?
Well, we're going to add to that. If you do 6, we're going to add another $250 to that, making the total $350 in additional bonus, an additional commission for finding folks, for sharing, for teaching, for training, and bringing people to Solex. We love that process. That's just a small incentive on top of the regular commissions you get for bringing them here. So
that ends at the end of this month, so there's still plenty of time to get in on that extra cash. But we are going to announce our Q4 incentive soon, and that is going to be September 26th at 4 o'clock for all of you that are golds or higher, and you just have to have hit gold. You don't have to have broken gold. Gold and higher, we will have a leadership call on September 26th. That's a Thursday at 4 o'clock Mountain Time.
Now if they're gold, if they hit gold, they'll automatically get an email, right?
You will get an email with an invite to that meeting. And as we get closer, we'll give you more information. But it's not just learning about the next quarter incentives. We have a few announcements that we're going to make and some training.
Yep. Those are fun calls. They're great to get your teams going, get a little bit of information as we go into October, November, and December.
That's right.
So.
All right, last week we had a contest. We asked you what Solex product gave you the most impactful experience. But this week it was a little different because we didn't tell you what you were going to win.
Yeah, we kind of along the lines of who comes in first place, because it was the Olympics, kind of pushing this idea of what is the most impactful thing that you experience, right, using the Solex products, is what was going to be in first place last week for products that moved along.
Yeah, what sold the most out of all of our products? What sold the most last week? We have the answer.
We do have the answer. Should we give the answer right now?
Yeah, you're going to win. 3 people are going to win.
Blue was we said the scanner was off the table, right?
Yeah, scanner's off the table.
And so we were looking, and everybody that was paying attention last month saw that buy 2, get 1 free. That's ended. Holy cow, a lot of people got excited about that.
That's right.
And Blue by far
flew off the shelves.
Moving. It's a great product. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
No,
I don't want to go first.
All right, mix these up. We're going to draw 3 and see which Solex product is the most impactful. Tammy G, give us a call. Let us know who you are. The product that has made the biggest impact in my health is Blue. You're getting some Blue. After taking it only 1 day, I noticed a huge increase in energy. I love Blue.
I think that it's when we have those acute situations where we really are maybe not having the best function at the cellular level, and blue adds that electron to get the ATP process going. I think it's so noticeable. Now, here's the thing. Let me just take a minute.
Oh, we're used to it.
Let me take 10 seconds. Okay. What happens when an acute situation gets taken care of regularly? It's not so acute, so the impact of taking something isn't as noticeable as far as the reaction to it. What we really do want is to take this for 30, 60, 90 days. Things will normalize. You'll be like, oh, wow, I took blue this morning and it wasn't as shockingly different. And that's actually okay if you know that the initial shock was because you had an acute situation where you were trying to improve it. By regularly taking something that's helping us improve the situation, it should then feel normal.
Yeah.
It actually should feel normal to feel pretty good every day, right? That's what we're trying to get to.
That's funny you're saying that. I fell into that trap. In fact, we were traveling and I didn't bring blue with me, and I'm used to taking it every single day, and I didn't bring it with me. And but I didn't really worry about it because I was feeling good, right? And when you feel good, you're like, oh, I'm fine. I stopped taking it for a couple of weeks, and what happened? Yep. I got sick.
Yeah, you felt the difference.
Darn it. And so I've come back and I'm religious with it again, and I feel great. So I like that you said that, because you do have an initial reaction with it. You notice how good you feel. But I have the experience of not using it regularly and then feeling worse. So I love that you gave that example. Okay, now you need to draw one.
I already drew it. I'm ready to go. This is Karen Martinez. Karen, good job. The 660 band has helped my husband's thumbs from chronic pain. It has also helped the stiffness in my fingers since I type on a computer all day for work and have for several decades. I suggested my friend use a 660 band after I noticed she had a band near her elbow for tennis elbow. She was so impressed with how quickly it helped that her husband purchased one for her and his mother. I like the 660 band so much. My husband and I each have one, and I have gifted one to my father-in-law and another to my daughter-in-law. Thank you, Solex. I love, yeah. You know what? It's, again, right along the lines. Red light, we don't notice how quickly inflammation can be slowed or pain can go away until we get the exposure to red light, which we may have not had before.
It's true.
Awesome.
I love that. And maybe I'll draw this right now. Who knows? But I saw one of these comments where she said she uses a 660 band and she puts it right in between her eyes when she has a headache. And I never thought to do that. I always put it behind on my neck. So I'm going to try that next time. I love the 660 band. Okay. Talena Taff. I use just about all the Solex products. The fastest acting thing I have done to date is imprinting pellets with the single homeopathic remedy, cannabis indica. Taking this before bedtime makes sleep very restful and restorative, and I get into the dream state, which rarely happens. I've given pellets to friends and family, and all have had the same experience. I now keep a freshly imprinted bottle on my nightstand. Thanks, Solex. I love all the options you give us.
Love it.
That is great, Talena. You're getting blue, and I love how all three of these were completely different products.
Yeah, and it was their most impactful, quickest experience.
Yeah.
That tells us that we have some good products.
We do have some good products. All right, let's talk about our top enrollers. And this is for August 26th through September 1st.
And we have a tie, of course, for second place. We have Mandy Starling, congratulations.
The Detox Girls.
Leanne Gray.
Margaret Grusbeck.
And Marianne Salvi.
Congratulations, second place. Well done, everyone. And we do have one person in first place, and this is Kimbley Quantum Collective. Congratulations to you. You get another Solex silver coin. Congratulations to all our winners this week. All right, let's go ahead and move on with the call.
Always remember frequencies when you're looking at your reports. You're not taking things literally. Think about these things. Cellular memory, residual toxins, damage from prior exposure, an actual occurrence, residual inflammation. It could be the closest frequency of something else in the database. You guys that have taken phase 1, this information's in there. So if you haven't taken phase 1 in Solex University, you should. Also shedding from live vaccines, which is something that I see just about every day. I just did a YouTube video about that the other day. You can literally see all of it in your reports. Food sensitivity should be done in classic view, so you're looking for the red and the green dots, not the numbers. Other reasons food sensitivities could show up. Someone could have a leaky gut. It could be stress. Remember, it's still frequencies, okay? So always just kind of keep that in your mind. And remember, frequencies are going to ebb and flow just like we do. A lot of external things can trigger, like your emotions. I do a lot of belief work with food sensitivities. Believe it or not, I got rid of a dairy allergy because I worked on some negative beliefs that I had. I still have to work on gluten. You could be picking up pesticides, insecticides, herbicides when you're looking at your reports. Sometimes if you're never eating those foods, the frequency is just going to be tagging that. So it could be, again, something else that's occurring on the scanner that's reminding the brain of something else that's similar, which I'll get into that in a little bit. Also, food diversity. If you're eating the same foods all the time, you might start to see those showing up on your scans because you need to have more diverse foods in your diet. It could be a similar frequency to another food, like gluten-reactive foods, like oats and quinoa. So maybe you're seeing gluten show up and you're not eating gluten. That could be another reason why. It could be an inherited sensitivity. So we all know that emotions are passed down. A lot of diseases are passed down in our genes and DNA, miasms. Remember, it's energy. It may not just work for your body at that time. Again, ebb and flow with energy. The other thing you could think about doing is running the scan. I know my husband likes to scan himself before he goes out to eat. Oh, I need to get salmon. All the omega-3s are coming up. Oh, is that one of your tips and tricks? Sorry. I'll give you another one. I've actually used it for eating, like when I was trying to put eggs back in, because I couldn't have eggs for a very long time because of all the autoimmune stuff. I was eating duck eggs. When I got the scanner and started optimizing, I realized eggs weren't a double red for me. They started being green, then red, and then green, green. So over time, I think it took 6 months of me scanning, I was actually able to put eggs back in. I didn't do anything else. I just scanned. Some of the foods, I'm going to briefly try to go through this because this is a lot of information. So you guys look at your food sensitivities. You're going to see some of the foods that could be coming up because you're sensitive to nightshades. These are some of the foods that may be reflecting on your scan. Most people with autoimmune disease, well, pretty much everyone with autoimmune disease, should not be eating nightshades, at least initially until you can kind of buffer that inflammation. Over time, you can gradually start putting those foods back in, which again, your scanner is great at educating you, kind of like I did with the eggs. I know ashwagandha is a popular supplement. It's not for everyone. It is a nightshade. So you could be taking a supplement that you think is helping yourself, but it's actually creating more inflammation. I already talked about people with inflammatory and autoimmune diseases. A lot of times too, and again, this is from my PT background, when people have a lot of muscular pain, osteoarthritis, nightshades can be a cause of that. Oxalates can be too, but I'll get to that later. Deb Bruce is always talking about how nicotine and tobacco can show up on your scan and you don't smoke. This could be why. So again, more data for you to kind of sift through. Why is it showing up? Overconsumption of nightshades can lead to calcium deposits in the soft tissue, so bone spurs, kidney stones, heel spurs, all those kind of weird calcium deposits that people get. That can be another reason why. It can also lead to coronary artery disease, so now maybe you're seeing a lot of markers showing up in the cardiovascular, head, heart, calcification of the kidneys. Usually what I do in my gut program is I have people remove these foods for at least 6 weeks, sometimes a little bit longer if they need to clear all that out. Nutrient deficiencies can also make sensitivity worse, like magnesium, vitamin D deficiency, which now we have an awesome supplement to combat that, and then liver and kidney detox. Histamine, this is a big thing right now. I see so much histamine reactions and I have my theories. But anyway, there's lots of fruits and vegetables. That's the whole other conversation for another day. A lot of the fruits and vegetables you see, your citruses, avocados, bananas, all those healthy foods that you think you're eating, they have high histamine if you have issues with histamine. Issues with histamine is going to be also a liver issue. It's going to be a gut issue. There's a lot of things that feed into histamine reactions. We also have, if you can see some of these foods, we looked at eggplant earlier. Eggplant's also a nightshade too. So what you're going to start to see, and this is where I can help you take some of the overwhelm out of where do I start with getting rid of my foods? Maybe someone's low histamine, low oxalate, and nightshades. That's a lot of foods you're taking out. What do you have left to eat? 15 foods? Take out the ones that are the repeating pattern between all of them. So maybe eggplant, because eggplant's in a couple different categories. Take that one out for a little bit and just see how you feel. Other things that you can look at for your scanner. So say some of those high histamine foods are showing up. You can look at your liver and your detox phases. You can look at MTHFR. You can look at your omega-3s. You can look at your B vitamins, D, zinc, copper, and mag. Also basophils, and then the IgE marker. So those are other clues that are going to help you kind of see, oh, maybe this person has histamine issues. Okay? Oxalates can also cause a histamine release. And if this is happening, you can suspect a B1 deficiency. So then you can look at your B vitamins. Is B1 coming up as being low? Or maybe you're seeing double red 9s and 1s. Maybe it's oscillating back and forth. There are foods that you can eat to help the histamine reaction. We've got watercress and onions. One study suggests that quercetin, which is found in onions, is a promising candidate as an effective mast cell inhibitor for allergic and inflammatory diseases. Chamomile also inhibits histamine. There's also nettle, turmeric, apples, peaches, and Brazil nuts. So again, some of those foods could be showing up. Do I need it? Do I not need it? Kind of always just get in the habit of asking yourself, is this something that I need, or is this something that I need to cut out? This is one theory that I have, because everyone's super stressed anymore, especially with the way the world is. Stress causes high cortisol, which will cause high sympathetic tone. So now that nervous system is in fight or flight, okay? That high cortisol and imbalanced nervous system is going to create an immune imbalance, and this is going to increase the histamine. The histamine then opens up the gaps between the cells in the gut, and there's your leaky gut. So it's not always just food, or glyphosate, or gluten. Oxalates, this is another big category I see a lot of. Usually oxalates and histamines kind of go hand in hand. Spinach, again, how many people eat spinach thinking it's super healthy? It's not if you have oxalate issues. I actually have a friend who had so much muscle pain, bone pain, joint pain, he thought he had rheumatoid arthritis. He didn't. We took out spinach because he was eating spinach every day. And as soon as we took out the spinach, all of his bone and muscle pain went away. Yeah. This is why I always say some of the foods that are healthy for me may not be for you. So when you're looking through your food sensitivities, is it something that I need? Is it something that I need to get rid of? Those are some of the other foods. We have rice bran, almonds, and rhubarb. These are some other foods that are high in oxalates. Grains, potatoes, beans, beets. Beets are great, but not if you have high oxalates. If you're seeing high oxalates, in my mind, I always think I need to go down and look at the kidneys. So now you're going to scroll down to your vital scan, go look at the kidney section, and if you see, remember we talked about groups and pairs, if you see a lot of those markers showing up in the kidney section, you need to start investigating. You can also look for candida and then aspergillus. So those are some other markers to kind of clue you in. Is there an oxalate issue going on? Gallbladder-friendly foods. This is another category that I'm seeing a lot of sludgy bile, for lack of a better word. Again, have my theories. Anyway, so some of those healthy foods that we're seeing could be because that person needs some of these gallbladder-friendly foods to help stimulate bile flow. Now, bile flow is super important for a lot of different things, including digestion, getting rid of any type of infections, and then to help the liver detox. So again, beets can now be healthy. Celery can now be healthy because you need that. Some of the other markers that I look for when I see gallbladder is going to be your lipids, your cholesterol. HCl, stomach acid, that's a huge thing. Amylase and lipase, bile acids, your liver markers. So now you can go down to the liver and the gallbladder category and see how many different items are coming up in that category. Bilirubin is usually going to be elevated. Total bile acids, total bilirubin, and then white blood cells. So again, remember yesterday I talked about those chess players changing, interchanging. You may not see all of that. You may see one thing one day, one thing another day, but the theme is still the same. We have sulfur foods. Believe it or not, we actually need sulfur to be able to methylate well. Again, some of these foods are going to be garlic, onions, leeks, arugula, broccoli, cabbage. So again, if those foods are coming up, do you need them? Are you not methylating well that day? Is that why those foods are showing? Some people say, oh, I can't eat sulfur because I have a sulfur intolerance. There's usually a reason why, because again, you do need sulfur in your diet. Low sulfur is going to be to fight SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, if you guys don't know what that is. Symptoms of a sulfur intolerance oftentimes overlap with histamine. There's a lot of similarities between sulfur intolerance, histamine, and oxalates. You could have gut dysbiosis. Molybdenum helps to metabolize sulfur amino acids, methionine or methionine. I've heard it said 2 different ways, and cysteine. So again, if those amino acids are showing up, that might clue you into something about sulfur in your scans. Some people have a difficult time clearing sulfur because of genetics. That's where I start diving into your genetics and sometimes have people get a 23andMe so I can actually see like what's going on in your genetic pathways. Is there a hiccup somewhere? Which I'm going to talk about that, I guess, later for my hack. There is a strong correlation between heavy metals and sulfites. So maybe now you're seeing a lot of heavy metals showing on your scan. Why? This could be why. Methylation issues because of the metabolism of sulfur amino acids. And then you want to check your detox phases. Usually sulfation and methylation are the 2 that are going to show up the most. So again, more clues to just kind of point you in the right direction of what you need to look for. There's common gluten cross-reactive foods. We kind of talked about oats already, but chocolate's one of those for all you chocolate people. Hemp, buckwheat, soy, eggs. So again, some of these things could be coming up and being triggered as gluten, but I'm not eating gluten. This could be why. To this day, I still cannot eat quinoa. I break out in hives. Technically, it's gluten-free, but there's gluten-reactive proteins in it. So again, I still need to do some investigation as to why, from an emotional standpoint, I can't tolerate gluten, because my gut's been healed for years. That's not the problem. Coffee is another big one. Oh, coffee has mold in it, Beck. I'm going to get to that. The seafood category is interesting too. Sometimes, like my husband will scan and, oh, salmon's coming up and my omega-3s, I need to eat salmon tonight for dinner. It could also be because there's a shellfish allergy or there's high histamine coming up. So again, do you need it? Do you not need it? Peanuts, corn, wheat, barley, cocoa, tree nuts, rice, beer, wine. A lot of the good foods are mold producing. So if you're seeing mold showing up and you're like, I don't live in mold, but why is mold showing up? Could be why. Coffee is also, like if you have adrenal issues, do not drink coffee, and at least until your adrenals are calmed down. Nobody really talks about this, but I'm going to. Some people need this type of diet because of MTHFR variants. So if you're seeing homocysteine showing up and methionine or methionine, however you like to pronounce it, this could be why. So it's just something to think about. It's an essential amino acid. It cannot be produced by the human body, so it must come from food. Some people need to be on a restricted diet due to inherited disorders that affect methane metabolism. So this is why this diet is commonly recommended to kind of bring down that homocysteine level. Okay? So if you're struggling with homocysteine, you're taking your B vitamins, maybe you do have MTHFR, this may be something to think about to kind of help bring that homocysteine level down. I don't know who I was talking to the other day. I actually have a client whose homocysteine was over 18, and I almost fell out of my desk chair. It's supposed to be between 6 and 7, and she's having TIAs, and nobody knows why. She's had brain MRIs. Brain MRIs are fine. And I'm like, your homocysteine is 18. That's probably why. Again, methionine is the precursor of homocysteine, which again is a sulfur amino acid in the methylation and sulfation pathway. So this is why sometimes some people do not tolerate glutathione because it's made from the sulfur amino acids. So you have to address the sulfur issue or the homocysteine issue or the liver issue. Excess dietary methionine and B vitamin deficiency, primarily 6, 9, and 12, is going to elevate homocysteine. So if you're someone who has elevated homocysteine levels, you probably need vitamins B6, 9, and 12. And again, elevated homocysteine can damage the inside of the arteries and increase the risk of forming blood clots, much like the client I just told you about with the TIAs. So just think about that. And she, went to a doctor and had all these tests done, and they can't find anything wrong. One conversation with this lady, and I was like, that's what's going on. She's like, well, no one told me that. I'm like, they're not, because they don't know. Cilantro. I love cilantro.
Coriander.
I should have made an Australian PowerPoint and a US PowerPoint. Okay, whatever you guys call it, but we call it cilantro. I'm just kidding. And garlic is typically used for heavy metal detoxes. So again, is cilantro coming up? Do you need it? Do you not need it? Are you seeing a lot of heavy metals? Yeah. A lot of these foods are used for killing parasites. When I see tons of parasites showing up on someone's scans, the first place I address is getting more stomach acid in them. People who don't have enough stomach acid are not going to have enough acid to kill any of the parasites that you're eating on all your foods, including your avocados. I hate to tell you that. It's not just meat and pork. I know, I just ruined everyone's day. But when you start eating food, anything that you eat, you need stomach acid to start killing and breaking down that process. So if you don't have enough stomach acid, they're all going to be in your gut. And then they're going to show up on your scanner with tons and tons of parasites. Okay? People overreact with parasites when they talk to me or they message me, and I'm like, it's just energy. It might be there today, it might be gone tomorrow. If it's the same one that's coming up all the time, then we'll address it. Emotions have a huge correlation with what you're seeing on your scans with parasites. Because in German New Medicine, parasites are usually going to happen because someone's sucking the life out of you or you don't have boundaries. So if you have emotional issues with that, you're going to have parasites. Just other stuff to think about. It's not just food. It's not just kill, 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 and detox. How many people do you know just kill and detox? And yet they're still sick. Yeah. I kind of stopped doing that in 2019 because that wasn't even working for me. So my philosophy is less is more. Give the body what it needs. It'll do the rest. Rebuild the foundation. If you rebuild the foundation, your body will naturally start doing what it needs to do. And we have an educational device that tells us everything that we need to rebuild that foundation. One of them, stomach acid. The other is digestive enzymes. The other is bile flow. Those are 3 huge components, and then obviously stress in the vagus. People who have vagus dysregulation are going to have a hard time healing their gut. So if you're someone who's been trying to heal their gut for 2 years and you're living in stress, you're having issues with cortisol, you're having issues with a dysregulated nervous system, it's going to be really hard to heal. Licorice root, aloe vera, peppermint, fennel, ginger are also used for gut healing. So as you're thinking about different supplements to take to help heal that leaky gut, some of those foods could be showing because you need them. Aloe's in a lot of the gut healing supplements. Beans and nuts could also be showing because someone has gut issues, also oxalates. I should have added that. So again, if you're seeing a lot of beans and nuts showing up, I kind of think, okay, I need to look at the gut. What's going on with the gut? What's going on with oxalates? Some other random items, spices such as garlic and cilantro, could just basically mean you need a heavy metal detox. So go down and look at your heavy metal category. Do you have a lot of items showing? Cloves and oregano are both used as antiparasitics. So maybe you need to eat some of those foods. Coffee could be showing up because of mold. Sorry. Kelp could be showing up because that person needs iodine. So if I see kelp, then I scroll down usually to iodine, see what's going on with that. Then I go look at the thyroid. Then I go look at adrenals. Then I usually go look at the liver. And then I go look at emotions. Beef could be showing up because maybe someone needs beef liver. It's rich in copper and iron. Stuff to think about. Broccoli could be appearing because that person needs sulfur-rich foods, which then you might want to check your liver detox phases. Again, sulfation, methylation, what's going on? Do I need it? Do I not need it? Certain vegetables may be showing up, such as parsley, celery, artichokes, cucumber, and mint, because that person actually needs them to thin the bile and help the gallbladder, which will help the liver. So maybe you need to eat some of those foods. Okay? And that's all I have. The key point I just want you guys to know is when you're looking at these, do you need it? Do you not need it? Don't take everything so literally, because it's just energy. It's going to ebb and flow. It's going to change every day. But if you see that blinking red light, maybe you see kelp coming up every day for 3 months, like what happened to me, then I started taking iodine, because then I started noticing iodine was low. So it was clues, more clues for me. So thank you, guys.
All right, Lauren, it's September.
It is.
And in this month here in the United States, it's common for a lot of kids to go back to school. Yeah. Right? And at this time of the year, when kids go back to school, kids experience a lot of different things.
Stress.
Yeah, anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Some get pretty hyperactive. They're super excited to see their friends, right? And the teachers have a tough time keeping them calmed down. We want to know, as you comment on the giveaway this week, the contest this week, comment after the live chat. What are the Solex products? It was the protocol you use with Solex products to help the kids, the younger folks in your life? Now, what if they don't have any kids?
Nieces, nephews.
Yeah, grandkids.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we all know, hopefully we all know, if we don't, let's go find some. Smaller, younger folks in our lives, because they just give off a great energy. They help us stay, I think balanced that way. But you know what? We have a kids product.
We have the 3 bracelets.
Yeah, the red,
children, yeah.
The blue, the black. We'll give away one of each to 3 different people.
Yep.
Right? So 3 to 3 different people. Next week, comment on the call. What are the things that you do with Solex products to help the kids in your life? And we'll give away those bracelets. By the way, those bracelets don't just work for kids.
No, they work on the people that have the small wrists.
The small wrists.
I don't have those here in the office.
Yeah, we have those here. You and I, it doesn't fit us so much.
Not so much.
But others it does. But okay, comment on the call. Everybody have a great week.
See you.
We wanted to see what our highest rated, most selling.
That was like, yeah, you're going.
Okay.